right, guys, N-word review time. You know the rules. One listen, and then we're going to judge. This N-word comes from Dave Portnoy. He's the president of Barstool. Again, one listen. You know the rules. Scores between 1 and 10. We're going to rank it and go.
To all my niggas that been living it up.
Okay, I mean, it's got a lot of crunch. I would say it's more of like a New England.
No. New England people are much more comfortable saying that word.
Really? You think there was a slight discomfort?
There was a little awkwardness with it.
Level of racism, would you say?
Level of racism was low.
I think low.
Yeah.
More like a don't date my daughter.
Yeah, mediocre racism.
Mediocre, like don't move in my neighborhood, but you know, you could play
cheesy.
on my... It's cheesy.
A little cheesy.
It was a little cheesy. Like you could play on the same AAU team as my son.
Right.
You know what I mean? But don't really infiltrate the family.
Right, exactly.
Right. I hear
Exactly.
you. Okay. Should we keep playing it?
Sure.
Let's see.
What you do, it's gonna be hit after hit. He'll just yell something in his EDP like twang, like "fuck this nigga," like in the.
Whoa!
Okay.
Now that one was a little hot. That one came in a little
was like
hot.
lava.
That one was
like lava. Just bubbling off the plate.
I mean, wow. I would say that one. Al, you were the final judge on that one, but that one had, I would say, about a 6.8.
Ooh, 6.8.
What would you go on 6.8?
I mean, it came in a little hot. The execution, I give it some points for style.
Style? You give it some style points?
Some style points,
okay, decent style points.
Give it a nice, 1.6. 1.6. Solid 1.6.
It gets a lot more races?
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like that N-word wouldn't carry a noose with it. You know what I mean? It's not like a noose.
Yeah, no.
It might be like you cut me off. Hey.
Yeah.
That's more like you're in my lane. You cut me off and I don't know anything else about you.
This is my lane. What are you doing here?
What are you doing in my lane?
Yeah.
Even though my ancestors brought you here to make you be in my, but still.
Yeah,
okay.
that was more of like no barbecuing in the park type of, you know. That was what it was.
Either with a Karen N-word.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Portnoy.
Central Park Portnoy? Is that what you called it?
Oh, yeah.
Central Park Portnoy. All right, let's go. Keep going.
Oh, my God.
And everyone's like, "What?" And then he'll just go quiet for like another 20 minutes. And then he'll say something like, "Brady's a bitch ass nigga, fucking rape him."
Whoa. The elevated voice. That's how I talk to my puppy. That can't be hateful. That's how I talk to my little baby Sabi. I mean, if you raise your voice multiple octaves, if you go into like apologetic, like girlfriend mode, like us apologizing to our girls, not like they would.
That's like when Mark's lying.
Let me not confuse things.
Yeah, that's like when Mark's lying.
Did Portnoy go full Mark Lyon voice?
He's like, no,
I press record on the camera. I swear to God, no. I remember during your set, I press record on the camera.
Oh, what are those?
Mark, since that's your voice, what would you rate that N-word right there?
Yeah.
Well, it's cute and it had
high cuteness factor.
Yeah,
high cuteness.
High cuteness. It was like crispy around the front end and like softer around the A. So I give that like a 7.1.
You go 7.1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
Lord.
a good score, man.
Are we ranking N-words or N-dicks? And I'm But in all seriousness, Al, you are the final judge on these N-words. Obviously, this is not our place to judge, so go.
Yeah. That one, I don't know. It started hot, smooth delivery. Smooth delivery. I got to give that one a 3.5. 3.5.
3.5.
Okay.
You named it a W dick.
Okay.
W.
White, bro. I don't know. C dick. I'm trying to keep it consistent. If you guys have no clue what we're doing right now, the cancel culture came after Barstool owner. Is he the owner? I think he's still the owner. Of,
CEO?
CEO or something. No, the CEO's a woman.
Okay.
They got a nice little smoke screen.
Okay, yeah. They have to make another hire after this.
Bye, white girl. We need Candace Owens. No, but that was genius. Like, you get called sexist and shit.
100%.
And then you just get a woman to be your CEO,
100%.
and then she is that shield.
That was Call Her Daddy's leverage, I thought.
What was it?
That they're women that are like the forefront of this network. They're like they're the guys. That's why he was offering deals in his apology. He was like, I never would offer this deal to anybody else.
Yeah.
Because I got 2 women right here that are like the people from my network.
My bad, Dave.
Hey, man. You started off a bad 2020 for David Portnoy, yo.
I didn't know he was dropping M-bombs all over the place. But so basically, the cancel culture came after him. They probably went through every single thing Barstool's ever put out, and they're trying to. I mean, that clearly looks like a targeted hit. They're like editing the video.
Can I say my problem with this?
Yes, please go.
First of all, well, let's not get into the serious part yet. This appears to be some kind of stand-up comedy situation. The way he's holding the microphone, the way he's holding the mic stand.
Yep.
You can't release open mic footage like that, yo.
Bro.
Come on, yo.
That's not his good material yet.
That's not the good. That's not the polished.
He didn't understand like the genius thing of taking a bite of pizza.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't there yet. Like the revolutionary innovation in content, which is.
And he didn't wait till he got to stage and delivered like a Kramer N-word. That's a strong 6.1 that he did. That was a 6.1.
I'm trying to understand Al's scale. So is the scale based on how racist you really think the person is, or how well executed the N-word is?
Both.
So it's like if they're
Kramer
not
gets a 6.
Son, there's been some 9s.
who got a 9?
Like I would say, like 200 years ago, you'd heard 9s all. Everywhere you went.
What about a white lady in a grocery store being told to put a mask on? Like, what kind of N-word does that get?
Oh, that's a measly 2.2.
That's it?
That's a 2.
Oh, dude, we need to show the video later. I think her name on Twitter is Tina40. This is my like dream woman. I mean, this is.
That's your dream.
Do you know who she is?
I know.
Oh my God, we got to get this up. But we'll stay on this for right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So they go through all his stuff, find everything he said. They're like, hey, let's cancel him. Let's get this guy out of here. I don't think Barstool's fans really care. I from when I watch it, I don't think that he's saying this in a hateful way. If anything, I just think he's arrogant. Like sometimes you think when you don't have any like black friends, like you think that this word is less harmful than it is.
Yeah.
And I don't expect Dave to have any black friends. I'm sure he grew up in a place that's quite segregated, maybe in New England or something like that. And then you don't know that it's that bad, and you hear it in like music, and you hear black people saying it all the time. You're like, well, okay, well they're saying it all the time. And it doesn't seem that bad.
How hateful can it be?
How hateful
can it be?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of white people do that. And I think if maybe you're someone like us that actually grows up with black people and you hear how upset they get when someone, not even them, like a friend of theirs or any black person is called the N-word by a white person, you're like, fuck, I could never say that word.
Right.
And it's really easy not to say the word. Like I've been on podcasts for fucking hours a week, every single week for the last, 6 years of my life.
And you only dropped 5.
There's only 5 N-words that I've said, and it was a Trinidad James song. They all happened in a row, dude. It was like one instance, you know what I mean?
Nah, I respect you. Like you've never even slipped.
Yeah.
I respect that a lot.
I don't do it, but it's something I just never did. That's, that being said, I think we do draw a distinction between like a hateful person and someone who says that in terms of like repeating someone else. It seemed like he was repeating. And I'm not about to put the indictment on hate on him. No. I don't think he's a hateful guy.
No.
I just think that he just doesn't have any black friends and probably didn't grow up with a lot of diversity and just doesn't know.
I'm not giving him that easy of an out.
And you don't have to.
Yeah.
No. So what is
everybody knows you don't say it. Like you don't need black friends to know you don't say it. And the only reason why he felt comfortable to say it in that room because there was no one black in the room.
Yeah.
And so it's like
also probably
he knew he was doing something wrong, and he probably just didn't think. He thought that was like just for the show. Probably won't live forever in the moment.
I think there's a little bit of like.
Okay, go.
I think I can get away with this.
Yes.
Let me
It's
see what I can get away with.
Yeah, it's arrogance. It's like I think a lot of white people look at saying the N-word no different than like making a retard joke or making a sexist joke. A lot of white people have no black friends, right? And just don't know any black people, right? Okay. So I think they're like, oh, this is taboo. Just as taboo as me making a retard joke. Just as taboo as me making a sexist joke. the more
I
like
could see that point.
Only white people in your life, you know what I mean? Like boat shoe whites, if you will. Like they don't know anything about how this word affects people outside of like a history textbook.
Right.
Or what they see on World Star or some shit like that. And he knows he's never going to run into any black people. Well, now things are probably different, but in the initial stages of Barstool, I don't know if there are any black people there.
No.
They had one black guy there, the midget.
Yeah.
He can handle him.
Again,
Shouts to him, but I don't think he's that worried of what his reaction is going to be. Right. And I think they sponsored him to come here from Africa.
Yeah, he checked all the boxes with that hire. Like, let's just get this one guy.
We got black, midget, we got woman. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
So that I think is the question that we got to look at when we look at like how people say things, especially if they're like in the guise of getting a rise or getting some laughter.
Judge them by intent.
Exactly. We always say that. What is the intent? Not the intention. I don't think the intention was hateful. It maybe is a learning moment. And, you know, maybe his reaction to it now is like, yo, that was stupid. It was something I would never do now. I think he even said that on the thing.
Yeah, probably.
Al, what is your thing? What is your feeling on that? The idea that like
his apology, you mean?
Yeah, like where he basically came out. He was like, look, these are jokes. Here's the thing that I didn't like. He was basically like, yo, these are jokes that they would do in the office. No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's like
there's a lot of episodes of The Office. I don't think they were throwing M-bombs around in the office.
Like they had racially insensitive jokes in the beginning of The Office, but none where the M-bomb was dropped. So it's like to try to group it with that, it's like he's trying to.
There's
wiggle
one
his way
where they
out of it.
allude to him doing like the Chris Rock N-words versus black people bit. But the point is,
yeah, but they stop it.
Yeah.
For that, and he's getting in trouble for saying that.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's what I was gonna
this
say.
guy's just having fun saying.
I don't
the word.
know his background. My assumption is like a rich white kid who just never had any minority friends, and now he's in this world where he's forced to interact with people who are from all walks of life, and they probably has realized later on in life, oh shit, that word really affects people. I'm not going to make that as a taboo joke.
Yeah.
But it's just typical, like, you know, like spoiled white kid thing.
I would just respect any white person more, well, especially if they're not using it in a hateful way, but just be like, yo, my bad. At the time I knew it was wrong, but I was around people that I knew they wouldn't mind. Like, just own up for it, take full accountability, and don't try to like, because if you take full accountability for it, then it's like, all right, you realize you fucked up.
Yeah.
They also can't really speak up if you pay them. You know what I mean? Like, if a white person, it's just a tough position. If you're a white dude, that's my boss. He's saying it in a way that I know isn't hateful. I'm a white dude. He pays me. Do I just risk my job and be like, yo, don't use that word even if it's joking?
Yeah, so like everybody's trying to pay their bills, essentially.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That's bad if you have just yes men around you.
Yeah, keep that same energy about the Nazis.
I mean, if the Nazis are trying to be funny, you know what I mean?
Yo, isn't that how people always jump to shit? Like, you do anything, like, you don't become Superman in any moment, and they're like, yeah, that's what happened with the Nazis. Right? Like someone doesn't recycle their shit. You're like, oh, you're just going to let it happen? Yeah, what about the Nazis?
Oh, you're just going to let it go to the landfill, get incinerated, huh?
How hilarious. Jesus Christ. Yo, so are we done with the Portnoy discussion? Anything else?
Nah.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's not that hard to not use a word, like you said. I feel like you should be able to say, as a rule, you should be able to say whatever you want, and then the N-word is the exception that proves the rule.
Keep going on that. What do you mean by that?
They always say, oh, that's the exception that proves the rule. I think say whatever you want. The N-word is the one exception, and that's the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
Like, say whatever you want.
We have exceptions in life, right? Yeah. Like the December 25th is no more an important day than any other day, but we decide it's Christmas, and we decide everybody doesn't work, and we decide that we hang out with our family. It is a myth that we all choose to believe in, right? Yep. Now, I'm not saying the N-word being a bad word is a myth, but it is something that we've kind of like culturally all accepted, and it's this weird way of like atoning for like horrible behavior. Does it make up for it? Is it the 40 acres and a mule? Absolutely not. But it's this way where like every race, especially white people, can go, look, some fucked up things have happened to black people.
Yeah.
The very least that I can do is avoid this one fucking word.
Yeah.
Right? And I think when you say it as a white guy, I don't know, you explain to me how you feel, but the assumption is like, you can't even do that.
Yeah.
Just like, you can't even just fucking do that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
We're just asking you just don't say one fucking word. A lot of shitty things have happened. We barely ask for anything. You know?
Yeah. So that's why our reaction is like really, like, that's why I think that our reaction is over the top.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you're really just, you already got your foot on our neck or knee, and you're digging it in.
Al coming with the jokes, bro.
Okay, and you're just like digging it in.
Yeah,
like it's like you don't have that is such an easy thing for you to not do.
And then the people will always be like, yeah, but if we all treated people equally, we would all say the word. And it's like, yeah, that'd be nice if we were all equal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, ideally, in an ideal world, and someone will cut this and like snip it out, but in an ideal world, I imagine black people would love it if we were so equal that word meant nothing.
Yeah.
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 Right? Like, that's the ideal world, is that there was so much there was an equitable relationship of all races where you could say whatever you want to him, you could say whatever you want to me, I could say whatever I want to you. Unfortunately, because there is this kind of class and race dynamic that exists, some of these words fucking sting extra.
And it's just too much history tied up with that particular word. So it's like, I don't think you'll ever.
How you feel with non-white people, but also not black people?
Yo, just say it, son.
Nah,
just say it.
Never.
You fucking sand cracker. Say it.
Nah, bro.
Akaash, you don't say that word, bro?
Nah, never.
Be honest, bro.
Never.
Be honest.
I'm honest, yo.
What happens when the black guy came into GMC to get some creatine and then ran out without paying your moms?
Hey, you ain't gonna catch that motherfucker, mom. Just be honest. I didn't even think he needed the creatine in the first place. He looked pretty goddamn jacked if you ask me. I don't know. He got that one.